one of your quotes. Sometimes it's strange being me. I travel the world meeting people. I'm surrounded by friends and my life is full. But all the time I'm confronted by a young man I have nothing in common with. He is me, but he is not me now. In fact, I have been me now for longer than I was him. But no one wants to know about me. And that really resonates with me because obviously I've been retired nearly 2 years now since the Wiggins day.
Yes.
And when I walk around London or England, you know, people always come to me and say, "Are you Bradley Wiggins?" And I always say, "I used to be."
I used to be.
Because they only associate with the person they think they know.
Yeah.
And I think when you retire, you try and detach from that and become a new person.
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting that
for me also it's very difficult now. Everywhere where I go, people recognize me.
And obviously you retired in '78, isn't it? So
yeah, 78.
40 years ago now.
Yeah, absolutely.
40 years this year, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's unbelievable. Also, small kids, they ask me some signature that they don't never know me.
Yeah. But I was born 2 years after you retired, and you're still my hero, ultimate hero. I know you don't like it because you're a very modest man, but even now coming to the Rouleurs Classic, I think everybody, the attention and the draw that you still have is still quite impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know, cycling is my life, and that's why also I come here to Rouleurs because I like cycling, and I watch every race on the television. And that's for me is the best sport that you can do.
So obviously you've had so many great moments, Eddie, of course well documented, but just some of the few that really stick out. Obviously early on in your career when you were riding for Peugeot, world champion, Trecime di Lavaredo in '68, that was in the snow. It's so iconic, the photos of you finishing in the snow. I mean, have you got any memories from that day?
Absolutely, yeah, because there was a break, it was 7-8 minutes, 30 kilometers on the finish, and I started climbing, and I take everybody. On the last one was Polidori, I take it 1 kilometer on the finish, and that day I won the Giro.
Yeah. And obviously people listening will, not everybody, a lot of people will kind of be into the detail of cycling. I mean, I've ridden that climb, I know how steep it is. Can you remember what gear you rode that day, just for the fanatics out there?
Sorry?
Can you remember what gear, or quel braquet?
Oh yes, I remember the gear. It was 42, 26, 24, I think so, 22 also sometimes.
Yeah. In comparison to today's,
bigger gear.
Yeah, massive. It's quite big, isn't it? Yeah. And the bike must have weighed.
Oh yeah, the bike were like
10 kilos.
No, 9 kilos.
9 kilos.
9 kilos. The bike won the World Championship in the Salange. Amateur was 11 kilo 400.
Okay. Which is like the bikes with a motor now, isn't it? And you were 21 when you won in Trecime? 21 years old?
68, no, 23.
23. Okay. But you won the Giro. I mean, that was.
Yeah.
As world champion, isn't it?
As world champion was a year before, 22.
Yeah.
In
the first year you rode, yeah. And then obviously after that, I think one of the big ones that sticks out, obviously Paris-Roubaix in 1970. Yeah. That was for Faimino, which was.
Absolutely, yeah. And it was a great victory, you know. I beat the second on 5 minutes 42 things. So always. Nobody wants Paris-Roubaix more advantage.
Did you prefer Paris-Roubaix or Flanders? Obviously you were from Brussels, so.
Yeah, but
which one would you?
Roubaix is very special. Flanders because I'm Belgium, and Flanders is okay, but Paris-Roubaix is a very special race.
Because of course the other great victory was '69 Flanders, which was the photos now are so iconic, wasn't they? Because the director was telling you that you were crazy for attacking so early.
Yeah, but I know why I was attacking so early.
And I also spoke to Barry Hoban, who was in the same race.
Okay.
And everybody behind thought you were crazy.
Yeah.
But of course, we're sitting here today and we all know the story, and it's legendary, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like now I was already the Vlaming also when I attacked in '75 from the Old Quaremont.
Yeah.
They were all laughing with me because they think they're gonna catch me, but didn't see me again. And
See, now in 2018, that's quite something to imagine somebody laughing at Eddy Merckx in the 70s. I mean, it's just unbelievable, you know, to think that, you know, that they were laughing at you now because we know what actually happened in it. You won Flanders for the first time, wasn't it? In '69.
69, yeah.
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 Which was before the crash in Blois, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which I think you've said quite openly that
after the Tour de France,
you were never the same rider after.
No, I was never climbing like in the.
Even though you carried on to win 3 more tours. And
absolutely, yeah.
Everything else.
No, it's true. Look, I was 24. I won the Tour with 70 minutes.
Yeah.
The year after, I was 25. So we were the same, and I won only with.
The only one with 8 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, I mean, obviously, I've done the hour record, and obviously it's difficult sitting with you here now because I always feel a little bit of a fraud when I'm sat with you in the hour record because
that's normal, no?
I think if you'd had the same equipment and the same resource that I'd had, we'd probably be sat here,
but
you know, having to do 80 kilometers for an hour record.
But the point was, when I attacked the hour record, that I beat them.
Exactly.
Because most of old riders, and so they were taking Alcatil, and they were there, and also journalists.
Yes.
They were coming to Mexico to say that they could beat them.
Yeah, but also I think what goes unnoticed is that you were the last with, in this day and age, there's so much emphasis on carbon fibre, the aerodynamics, the material of the suit, when actually you did it, probably was the last one to do it with basically, you know, whatever you had really, and I think people underestimate just how far you actually went.
Every sport is changing, you know, so the evolution, the technical, that's normal. That today the riders ride this other bike that I was, of course, beating the hour record of winning Tour de France.
But I think the important thing for our generation now is that actually, whether people go on to beat it or not, that it's a very small club of people that have won the Tour and done the hour record. I think there's only yourself, me, Indurain, Alcatil,
absolutely,
Copy,
and
I think that's it.
That's it. I won the hour record, but he won't.
We should have a meal every year to celebrate that. If you were racing today in the World Tour against the likes of Froome, Geraint Thomas, Peter Sagan, I mean, what type of rider do you think you would be in modern cycling? Classics, tour rider? Because obviously everybody specialises now, don't they?
I think I will specialise in stage racing.
Stage racing, yeah.
That was what I preferring, was 3 weeks and every day, and you know, when you classics you need a little bit chance too, but in the big tours chance don't exist, but you be strong every day.
Yeah, and because obviously you were one of the riders who raced from January all the way to the end of the season, weren't you really?
The season was long. 4 November was Trophy Baraki, 110 kilometers was team trial, was too.
And in 2012 I obviously won Paris-Nice, don't like talking about myself, well, I won Paris-Nice, Romandie, Dauphiné and the Tour. And when I was at the Dauphiné, they said, do you know who the last rider was to win the Dauphiné and the Tour in the same year? And I said, of course it was you. You was the last rider, so we share something in common, you know. You know, with the hour record and the changes in the technology, do you think that's a good thing, or do you think that they should, because obviously we've gone from Chris Boardman with the Superman position to the Athlete's Hour, which was most replicated yours?
No, I think the hour record that you beat, I think that is the normal one, that's a good one. But we have always evolution in the sport, and your evolution is
it's a good thing,
a real one. It's
not
a special position and things like that. Yeah, it's a time trial, but I find okay, good.
Because it also helps the industry, doesn't it? And
absolutely.
The industry is what drives
absolutely.
the money.
Technical must go.
And the only other thing now is, you think the cycling calendar is so long now because it's so international, isn't it? I mean, the season only finished last week in Japan. Do you think that's a good thing? And obviously we'll start in January in Down Under. And
it's difficult to say, but the riders don't ride all the season.
No.
They start maybe in January, and then they do some classics, and then they stopped, and then they again for other races. But also the team have now more riders and like 27 riders on the team.
But in your time you used to do the 6 days as well, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah,
so
I was riding all the year.
All the 6 days, which helped the 6 days because the superstars were there.
Yeah, but also I think it was good for the beginning of the season. That's why I think I won also 7-time Milan-San because there were not so much competition in the beginning of the year, and I was better prepared on the beginning of the season than the other riders.
Yeah. Is there one rider in the peloton now who you think most resembles you or you can identify with?
Oh, for the classics,
me?
Yeah, I think you for sure. Yeah, you were also classics, and our record to the France. No, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And Sagan, obviously, he's the big name, isn't he, in cycling?
Sagan is for sure in the classics. Is the same with me.
And do you think next year, obviously Froome, do you think he can do number 5 in the Tour de France?
I think so, yeah. Next year the Tour, it's 3 times over 2,000 meters finish, and there is not so much time trial. That's maybe not the advantage for Chris, but I think Bardet can, and then you have to see with the riders, because now we don't know which rider go to Italy, because I see, for me, one of the best young riders today is Bernal.
Yes.
Colombian guy. It's unbelievable. I see what work he was doing this year in the Tour, on the climbs and things like that.
New Belgium, is it Van Remco?
Liverpool, yeah.
What do you think of him having?
He's a special athlete, but you know, there's
a lot of pressure on him now as well.
He likes the pressure.
The comparison comes of you straight away. Anyone in Belgium is good.
The way is very long to come. Now next year he will immediately be professional. He will see the difference between junior, the last year junior, but absolutely he's a great talent. That's for sure. But the way is very long. We have to pick a dream team now.
You can pick the leader. So who would lead your dream team? Obviously you can't pick yourself. So
I cannot pick myself.
No.
I will take Bradley Wiggins then.
Oh, that's very kind. Yeah. Don't pick Chris Froome then as a puncher, but we won't talk. I'll pick the puncher, and I will pick Peter Sagan as my puncher. You need to pick a sprinter now, Eddie. Who would your sprinter be in your dream?
Today, Mark Cavendish.
Mark Cavendish, good choice. I'll pick a domestique, and I will pick a man you know very well, Joseph Breuer, who was probably the most loyal man in the world.
Absolutely.
But absolutely somebody who could maybe win a Grand Tour himself. So I'll pick Joseph Breuer. An all-rounder, somebody who can do everything in your team. Who would you pick?
In my team, I think Jos Huismans.
Yeah.
He was also the Fresh Wallon, and he was very clever in the team.
Yeah. And a time trialist, I'll pick a time trialist. I'll probably pick Jacques Anquetil as a time trialist, even though he would probably be, we would never see him in the evenings because he would be away with the women and drinking.
No, that's.
Or is that the myth? Is that the myth?
Yeah, the myth. I remember when I was young professional, and I did the Trofeo Baraki, and it was raining. It was on the 4th of November.
Yes.
The day before, one rider was going training in the rain. It was Jacques Anquetil. He said, "That's a guy who never trained."
So it shows you actually how
they make it
romanticises the legend and the story of someone like Jacques, when actually unless it comes from someone like you. So there you have it. Jacques was actually very professional. But then you don't win 5 tours, do you, if you're not professional? So
absolutely. It's impossible. .
think we'll wrap it there and just say, Eddie, it's always, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure, particularly from me, and I thank you very much for talkSPORT. Thank you.